When we're talking about the main financial struggles that veterans face, what are some of the great resources that are available? You mentioned VSOs. Those are great free ways to get your disability benefits versus paying an attorney or something like that. But what are some other things that veterans don't know about that they can be using to help them with personal finance?
Well, I appreciate that question because there's also veterans financial assistance organizations that are out there. Several times I have referred veterans to a GoFundMe blog that lists the 15 most supportive financial assistance alternatives for them. And several times that I've done that, kind of a very high batting average, getting veterans connected to those organizations, and ultimately in the course of our relationship, that the organization actually funds them. A time or two, the veteran has come back to me for like a letter of support or something like that. But, you know, I don't mind that. I mean, and as long as veterans don't have the type of pride that makes them sort of see the opportunity as anathema for getting help or support, then they're able to process, hey, I need this right now. And then there's resources. For example, I had a veteran who moved into a situation where the roommates didn't pay the bill for heating or something, and then they kind of left the place to him, and he was stuck with $2,000 plus of a heating bill that he kind of didn't feel he should have had to pay. And so he was able to claim hardship and reach out to an organization that provided him the supplemental money to pay that heating bill so that he could remain in that shelter. So
That's
there are a number of organizations that do that.
What's your advice for somebody that's thinking about reaching out and using VetSense but might be nervous or again scared that they're going to reach out and then it's not going to help them?
Well, I served in the military. I didn't have any distinguished career, but I served in the military, and I can tell you that even the couple years that I was in, you come out and there's so much that happens to you when you serve. Stuff happens to friends, stuff happens to your family, stuff happens in relationships, and of course, that can harden a person, and it can make you not see yourself the same way, maybe. And growth is important, but people can grow also hard feelings toward themselves and kind of numb and just cope with life the way it is. And I would strongly suggest a few things. Number one, if therapy is available, to definitely consider it, even if it's just talk therapy. That can help. And several of the veterans that I worked with talked about the benefits of either the concurrent therapy that they were going through, or psychotherapy even, with someone, a psychologist, what have you, or that they had already had therapy in the past. And these were folks who were becoming more of themselves again, more whole. And so they're able to process their life and see it from a perspective of wellness and holistic being, as opposed to a sign of, hey, deficit or fatigue or sort of being disconnected from themselves. And so the therapy helped. The second thing I would say is make sure that you take advantage of every opportunity that that you correspond with. There are a number of opportunities available to veterans that, just like scholarship money for folks going into college, unclaimed. And so there are a lot of unused and underutilized access points for veterans to take advantage of. And I believe that it would behoove an individual to stay motivated and keep the faith. And the third way, of course, is the faith community. No matter what faith background the individual has, even if they don't believe in God, that they somehow have and practice spiritual wellness. And that could be meditating, that could be yoga, that could be prayer, that could be going to a certain religious destination. But that's very important for folks to have spiritual wellness on top of that. I think all of that has to correspond with reality. So what I mean by that is there's this notion that, things just aren't working for me. And in that case, it's really important for folks to continue to reach out. And then when people reach back out, because professionals aren't always available at the time you reach out. So when they do reach back out, to kind of be available too, because that happens. I know we reach out to each other, and it's all about being present and reaching back out to folks. So don't stop at your initial effort or getting your feelings hurt on reaching out initially. I know a number of veterans are in their feelings with that. Hey, I reached out to this one time. Reach out 4 times. Unfortunately, we have to persist and not, have our feelings hurt or be deterred by the fact that something's unavailable or a long wait time to gain access to it. So I wish things were more convenient and efficient. That's one reason why VetSense makes sense, is that you have something that's going to put you in a queue immediately, and then it's going to touch the right people on the back end to give them sort of a notification and notice that this individual is reaching out, and then to organize the help for them in the way of the counselors.
That's really great. Inspiration for people to take action and not just stop if there's a little bit of resistance. Like
Yes.
push forward. You wouldn't, don't give up. Just, because then also too, it becomes an excuse. Oh, well, they didn't return my phone call. Well, there might have been some glitch where they didn't receive your phone call. It had nothing to do with getting back to you personally. It was actually the system didn't work, or, their router was down for the day, something like that. So don't let that be the thing that holds you back from success. I love that you mentioned that. Okay, I want to ask you a couple of quick random questions I ask everybody. First off, what is one resource or tool that you use that makes your life easier?
Ooh. So NeighborWorks America had the coach methodology, and I strongly believe in that. I also feel like that methodology in particular is part of the FFC, the financial fitness coaching methodology. Discovery with a client is so important to me. So the pre-meeting forms that I give out when I'm doing counseling or coaching are very important, because if I have as much intel as possible about what the client wants to be held accountable for, the direction they want the relationship to go in, if I know that they have or have not seen a financial counselor in the past, that's also very important. So I feel very strongly about access to resources. I feel very strongly about efficiency. And I feel that these programs that I've been a part of have all stressed that. AFCPE, NeighborWorks America, Financial Fitness Coaching, Kansas State University, very responsive relationships. And the onus in that case is on both people. It's on the client and the counselor. And I feel very confident that I try to exercise the coach model. I feel very confident that I try to get the pre-meeting form to clients, and I feel very confident in being responsive in our relationship. And all of the organizations have trained on that.
What is your favorite book right now, or your favorite book of all time?
Right now, a couple books. How to Change is one of them, by Katie Milkman, and this gets into. She has a podcast called Choiceology, which is a Charles Schwab based podcast, as well as Financial Decoders, and then the Financial Mindset Fix. there are a number of people who want to know, like, what do I need to know about myself to change my situation? So those two books I definitely appreciate right now. Obviously, as someone who's a Christian and someone who was raised in the church, the Bible, I would attest, would be my favorite book of all time. And the devotional books that go alongside it to enhance or amplify lessons from the Bible, one is called Streams in the Desert. Really love that devotional book. It catalogs all 365 days and provides great analysis on specific scripture. So that's been really helpful. And so any type of journal that prompts, there's a great journal that I found in Baltimore, Maryland, called Rap Goals. And they take all these historical hip hop artists over the last 50 years of hip hop, and they basically find little snippets of lyrics in their songs. And the particular gentleman, I believe, is like a psychologist, and he has this journal where you just take a snippet of a lyric and then you write about it, and he prompts you, he gives you questions. And I've found that to be very cathartic over the past 2 years. I've been using this journal, surprisingly. Rap, I found it to be very cathartic, to the point where I actually do a series called Hip Hop and Money, where we arrest sort of the rhyme schemes and where they are sort of educational for purposes of teaching financial education. And there are a number of lines where different artists are actually providing good financial education. Not always, but sometimes. And so I want to extract those points as well. So I found a good time in that.
That's a great recommendation. There's a famous, not, I don't know if it's famous, but a big interview that was done with Ludacris, and he talks about how rap lyrics are really inspirational, because in the beginning they don't have all those things they're rapping about, and so it really is goals. So when you said that actually makes sense, that somebody created that journal, or it's not. That's because it's a lot of what they're rapping about is goals, or trying to change the situation that they're in. So anyway, I found that fascinating, that interview with Ludacris. I'm going to look that up and try to put that in the show notes, but definitely we'll link to all of those things that you mentioned. Those are all great recommendations.
Yes.
Now it is time for my favorite part of the podcast, which is game time. And in honor of your visit, we're going to be playing a little trivia on Guess the Price in History. So I'm going to give you 5 multiple choice questions about a price of something in history, and you have to guess what the actual price is. Okay? Are you ready for this, Heath?
Yes.
Okay. Number 1, in 1950... Oh, I forgot the most important part. If you get 3 out of the 5 correct, you get bragging rights that you won game time on the Military Money Show, which is... a really big deal around here.
And I'll see you at a conference at some point, right?
Yes. Soon. Actually, very soon, probably. Okay. In 1950, what was the average price of a gallon of gas in the United States? So 1950, was it A, 10 cents a gallon, B, 25 cents a gallon, C, 50 cents a gallon, or D, $1 a gallon? Again, it's in 1950.
I was going to say 35 cents, so that's kind of pushing 50, but I'll go with 25 cents.
That's actually correct, Heath. 25 cents a gallon in 1950. That's impressive that you got that correct. I was like, I wouldn't get any of these. Okay. Number 2, in 1980, what was the average price of a dozen eggs in the United States? Was it A, 50 cents, B, 75 cents, C, $1, or D, $1.50?
In the 1980s, I would definitely say 75 cents.
Ooh, it's $1. You're really close, though.
It's $1? Okay.
Yes.
Maybe I had the coupon.
yeah, that's true.
Maybe there was
You would
a
be
coupon
smart.
I had access to. No, go for it.
Okay, 1960. What was the cost of a movie ticket in the U.S.? Was it A, 25 cents, B, 50 cents, C, 75 cents, or D, a dollar?
Which year again? 19.
1960.
50 cents.
It's actually 25 cents, which is
Oh,
surprising because that's very close in 1950 to what it was for a gallon of gas.
okay.
So,
Okay.
all right, number 4. In 1995, what was the average price of a Big Mac at McDonald's? I think a lot of people probably might know this, but A, $1.50, B, $2, C, $2.50, or D, $3. And this is just for the Big Mac, not a or the meal. I don't know that they had meals in 1995, did they?
I'll say $2.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have got that, so that's impressive again, Heath.
When my wife was pregnant with our first child, she craved Big Macs. I literally had to run out of the house at random times and get Big Macs. And she never ate Big Macs a day in her life prior to that. And it was just like, give me a Big Mac. And so that's what we did. We just did Big Macs for a 2-week period. And then she never wanted to see a Big Mac again. So, yeah.
I'm really happy then that was one of the questions. And I think it's double funny because when I was pregnant with my first son, mine was McDonald's sausage biscuits.
Wow.
So I always wanted a sausage biscuit. So, okay, something about McDonald's during pregnancy must be a thing. Okay, number 5. This is for the win, so no pressure, Heath. In 1970, what was the cost of a first-class postage stamp in the U.S.? This is 1970. Was it A, 5 cents, B, 10 cents, C, 15, or D, 20 cents?
1970, I would have to go with 15 cents.
It was actually 5.
It was 5? Wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
Even with the standard of gold leaving us, it was 5? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So no
Well, I
bragging
really
rights this
appreciate
time.
no bragging rights, but I appreciate you playing the game and being on this show. Can you tell everybody listening where they can learn more about you, Heath, and what you're up to?
Yes. So in my personal business, which is in relationship with AFCPE and VBBP, that's Carelock Social Impact Solutions, which I do business as Care Financial Impact. And I have a website that is thecarelosophy.com. And so that's where people can visit me. And my handle is at Carelock on the X platform now, formerly known as Twitter. We have to say that for some reason. And I also, in my day job, I am the director of the Financial Empowerment Center at Prince George's Community College, which is a project of the United Way of the National Capital Area, whose very generous donations have also led to funding a Veterans Center in Prince George's County at the community college as well. And that's important because in the state of Maryland, Prince George's County, one of 24 jurisdictions in the state, has the largest veterans population. It also is home to Andrews Air Force Base. So, the idea of veterans and being in a relationship with veterans is something that's here where I live and am. And of course, in the state of Maryland is the Naval Academy. And I happen to have attended the Naval Academy back in the day before I got injured and during my time of injury, tearing my Achilles. But I'd salute all veterans from all services and have a number of friends in the service. And am very, very proud to have been affiliated with the military despite it not being the most joyous time in my life. So that gives me great empathy for people who go through the indoctrinations and the boot camps and try to take on this new identity. Many of them being strong and being able to carry it out and trying to balance the pressures of life. And so really appreciate the service members the service members' families and friends, and the support network that is the United States of America.
Well, thank you, Heath. I'll be sure to link to everything in the show notes. I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much, Lacey. It's been a real treat.